Hello everyone, welcome back. Please comment, rate, subscribe, folks. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos. I want to thank everyone that does like, watch, and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen folks, there's a link tree down below. Has links to all of my social media platforms. Please go down there, follow me across all my social media platforms and talk to me because I talk back. Also down there as well as links to all of my YouTube pages. Please go down there, subscribe to all my YouTube pages and turn on your notifications so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Now with that said and done and put to the side, I have come to talk to you folks today about the New York Jets cornerback position. Let me tell you, we got some guys on it. You talk about some of the current guys we have on the roster. I'm also going to speak about some guys in free agency and even in the draft that we could possibly go after, bring them in, and they can help our secondary, particularly our cornerback position, get even better. So I'm going to start with the guys we currently have on the roster. Now, as we all know, coming into this past season, there was a lot of question marks, okay? And one of the biggest question marks on the team, one of the biggest question marks on the defense was the cornerback position. There were a lot of Jets fans, a lot of people in Jets media saying, whoa, we don't know about this. This might be one of the weakest secondaries in the league. I'm serious. There was a lot of people saying that the Jets secondary, the Jets cornerback position was the weakest group on the team, the weakest position group on the team, and that we were going to get cooked week in and week out. People were just going to bomb over us. We were this, we were that. Now, again, this defense, not ranked very high, okay? There were some issues. But I tell you what, there were some bright spots, particularly this young secondary, when they were healthy, really showed us that they could stand up and hold their own, that they could, okay? And I'm going to start with Bryce Hall. Bryce Hall was a guy that we took late in the draft, 2 years ago. And there was a lot of question marks surrounding him, a lot of things saying, hey, can he stay healthy? There was questions about, injury history, all those things. Well, we took this kid, we put him out there, and ever since we've been playing him, he's just gotten better and better. We step into this year, he's working with Sulla, Albrecht, these guys bring him in, and we're seeing that, this kid can go toe-to-toe with some of the top wide receivers in this league. When we played the Bengals this year, I thought that was his biggest breakout game where he really showed us, like, I'm not going to get bowled over by these, top guys in the league. I can fight with them. They'll throw punches and I'll throw them right back because he was often matched up with Jamar Chase. And that kid was lighting the league on fire at that point. I remember going into that Bengals game, people were like, oh, Jamar is going to have 200 yards against us and probably 4 touchdowns. And he didn't have that. He did not. Now, he's Jamar Chase, but I'll tell you what, that boy Bryce Hall slowed him down. Slowed him way down. And it wasn't like, those teams in the past. He played extremely well against Chase. Extremely well, all right? And we ended up winning that game as well. Now, Bryce, for me, is a guy that's a bright spot. I cannot wait to see what he does next year for us. But he stepped into that number one role spot, that number one corner spot, and was extremely impressive. He continues to impress us. So I like Bryce Hall, and I can't wait to see what he does next year for us. The next guy I want to speak about, Eccles, Mr. Brandon Eccles. Now listen, this was a kid, again, we took in the late, mid-rounds of this past draft, and I don't think people really expected him to step in and do too much immediately. Again, he's a rookie, still trying to find his footing, right? There was a lot of talk about him being raw technically. He's very athletic, but we don't really know what he's going to bring to the table. He's probably going to have to sit for a bit. And dude, they put him out there. Now, him and Gundry were exchanging within that number 2 role and that number 2 corner spot. Him and Gundry at first were definitely going back and forth. One guy would start or they would take him out and all this stuff. But I tell you what, as the season continued on, we saw Eccles really step into that number 2 role and put things together. A lot of flashes out of him. And he had some big interceptions. He had a big interception against the Dolphins and a touchdown. He also had an interception against the Bucs as well. We've seen him go out there and make plays. The thing about Eccles is he's just got to work on his consistency. That's all it is. And also, he's got to work on staying healthy. That goes along with the consistency, though. The thing with Eccles is he'll make a play, we'll be excited, and then he'll get hurt. Something will happen. It'll be a shoulder, or he'll get nicked up somehow, and he'll miss a half, or he'll miss a quarter, or he'll miss some games. He's got to stay healthy. He's got to be out there on the field for us. The best ability is availability. That's what, and that rings true across the league. So I'm excited about Eccles. I know that there's a lot of people that still have reservations about going forward with him, but if he ended up, being our number 2 corner next season, and we corrected other things, on the defense as well, I wouldn't necessarily, be upset. So I'm excited for Eccles, and I can't wait to see what we can get out of a young kid that's continuing to grow in his second year. The next guy I want to talk about, Michael Carter II. Boy, oh boy, did this kid step up and step out. Here's another guy we got in this recent draft who we took, and a lot of people were like, okay, let's see what he's going to do. Immediately, everybody was saying he's going into the slot. That's going to be his role within the defense. And, we'll see if he's going to flourish there. And boy, did he. He was always ranked, highest in coverage grade, all that stuff. This kid stepped into the slot cornerback role, and lit it up for the New York Jets. I love what he brought to the table. He's another guy, though, got to stay healthy, right? But, man, let me tell you something. This kid was exciting to watch out there. He's a damn good slot corner. And boy, oh boy, do I think we have something extremely exciting to watch next year from him too. But again, he's a guy that's got to stay healthy as well, all right? Now, some of the additions that we could possibly make to the secondary as the New York Jets, because a lot of people are saying, okay, Hall, Eccles, I don't know. Hall, yes. Eccles, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm not tripping about that. I understand. But there's some guys out there in free agency that we could add and pair with Bryce Hall that could make this secondary better. Now, one of them is J.C. Jackson. This is a name that is flying across all over the place within, the Jets fandom. Jets media has talked about him. We know he's plays for New England. We all watch him. He's a pretty good corner in this league. The thing is with me and J.C. Jackson is I like him. I think he's good. He's probably going to want $18+ million per season to play here. And it starts to make you wonder a little bit, do you want to play a corner that much in free agency? Again, we've seen it. We've walked into free agency before, and we've purchased, we've paid that price before, to try to improve this secondary. And you're wondering, hey, would you rather take that to the draft instead of paying a guy like J.C. Jackson, to come in here? Again, a lot of times, and I'm not saying that he's a bad corner, but there's a lot of times where we see teams go out there and pay that premium price tag for a corner, and just they never quite reap the benefits that justify what they paid. You know what I'm saying? So that's what gives me reservations, especially that cornerback market, paying that high price tag for them, because that cornerback market is out of this world. We've seen guys get paid to the moon and back last season in free agency, and I don't know if I want to do that this year. So J.C. Jackson's a good corner, but I don't know about this one. Another corner that could be in free agency as well that could help the New York Jets is Carlton Davis. This is a guy that plays for the Bucs. Phenomenal corner now. The Bucs, I think, will probably tag him. If they're smart, they will, and the Bucs are an extremely smart franchise. They probably will end up tagging him, but if they don't, he's another guy that can command big-time money on that, free agency market. So we'll see if Joe Douglas actually takes a big swing at a corner this year, but let me tell you, you're going to pay out your nose. I'm just keeping it real. Now, as we get away from free agency, you can also look at the draft and say, okay, well, who can impact us, in the cornerback position, in the position that we're sitting in? We got 4, we got 10, we got these 2 first-round picks. Who could be there? And there's some names. Now, the first name, Sauce Gardner for me, from Cincinnati. I mean, this kid's unbelievable. I don't think he's ever allowed a touchdown in his entire career in college at all, and he started as a true freshman. This kid has got all that it takes to be a great corner in this league. You also got Derek Stingley there as well in the first round. Now, this guy is a good corner, LSU guy, but there's a big question about his injury history, particularly his foot. Now, if you're a corner and you got foot problems, you're going to have a big problem in the NFL if that injury is not 100% good to go. If you continue to have lingering issues with that foot, that's no bueno as well. So he might be a guy that I could see, could bring on some reservations from, Jets brass. I could see them maybe not wanting to take him. There's also a guy, Trent McDuffie, as well, solid corner too, that could provide us. So these are some guys that could be there in the first round to really help the New York Jets secondary. So Comment down below, let me know what you folks think. How do you folks feel about the Jets secondary as it stands currently, this cornerback position? What are your thoughts about free agency? Are you a guy that wants to see J.C. Jackson be a New York Jet? How do you feel about that? Would you be willing to pay that $18 million tag that he probably is going to want? And what are your thoughts about the draft? Because there's some options there as well at corner. Do you think that Derek Stingley could end up being the pick, a top pick there? And are you concerned about his injury history? So comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. Can't wait to go back and forth with you folks. You folks have a good one. Peace.